please go to the beach. I know you live on the East Coast, so it's gonna be difficult because all your beaches are like black tar and like human waste. But go to the one spot on the beach where there's actual like sand. Okay, I know your sand isn't like sand; it's more like gravel. Okay, but go out onto one of your East Coast gravel human feces beaches, and. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, East Coast, but it is true, and we all know.
Are you?
No. And you get some lights coming over the ocean in the morning. The morning dawn on the ocean, insane. It's like a wacky world. Can you imagine the sun rising on the ocean instead of setting on the ocean?
Disgusting.
How fucking weird is that, right?
That's so backwards, literally, from what I'm used to.
It's a real fucking fantasy land they're living in over there. Regardless, we've got a left track to do, and on this very
fuck all the way up.
Proximity alert. Vessel approaching. The vessel is hailing.
Space.
Warning. Warp core collapse in 10 seconds.
I mean,
the funny
should
part
we
is
clap again? Should we restart?
Okay,
Or-
3, 2, 1. All right, great. No, don't worry. That all isn't going to get into cybernetic oblivion.
Whatever. I don't have to edit this shit.
Yeah, you have fun about it.
Okay. Yeah. Why am I I'm the one that has to deal with my bullshit. In
Yeah, I'm just
long
making
run.
fun of you for it.
You fuckers. You motherfuckers. Left Track episode 12. So here it is. We've got Skin of Evil ahead of us. The classic Skin of Evil. We open up on the Enterprise, and they're gonna go pick up Troy in the shuttle, and we immediately know something's afoot because Tasha's getting character development. And character development that specifically doesn't have anything to do with a DARE PSA and nothing to do with rape gangs that she encountered on her home world.
Wait. You call character development her just being like, I'm gonna go do a thing, and then
Yes.
Worf smacking her on the ass and being like, okay, go get him, Tiger. Like that's character development for you. Okay.
You've seen the show, yes. What better character development does Tasha get besides Worf going like good luck in the competition, toots. Lucky I'm not there, winky face.
You're gonna kill him at the kickboxing, whatever the fuck they call those competitions. Let's go.
I guess MMA hadn't been invented yet, so I'm guessing this is like a proto MMA because she's like, oh, I'm worried about this, but this one person's kickboxing. It's like, okay, you're doing MMA, and you need to practice. And she's like, I need to figure out this move, my special move, and if I can do it on you, then I can do it on anyone. I'm just like, wait, so is Worf not in this competition? Is this like a gendered segregated like athletic competition? I guess.
Do they not let Klingons in?
I'm sorry, it's a different
Humans only.
It's a different kind of segregated athletic competition. Sorry, I forgot we were dealing with Star Trek here. So Tasha's getting the minorest of character development which shows that she has any kind of interest beyond occasionally trying to fuck Picard, which is gonna come back later, which makes another scene very funny. Rape gangs on her homeworld and DARE PSAs. So But there's some issue with this shuttlecraft containing Troy and then some random guy. They end up getting pulled into the planet's atmosphere. They lose contact. They're like, oh my god, they fucking definitely crashed. There's some like kind of interesting like engine room technical drama as they're trying to like restore the warp power. Apparently the Enterprise is entirely powered by like a 20-pound like hunk of quartz crystal. Which, I mean,
it's dilithium.
It was definitely dilithium. It was not like a $50 quartz crystal that they picked up at an antique shop down the road.
It was those shitty salt lamps that they got in fucking stores all over the place. And also
Enterprise is powered by negative ions, Brian. You don't understand.
So also important to remember that the fucking chief engineer introduces himself with his full name when they call down. Picard calls down to the engineering, and the motherfucker is like, Chief Engineer Leland T. Lynch reporting, sir. And it's like, oh, what?
Was that so? That's the 6th chief engineer that we've gotten so far.
No, he's the same one from the last episode. He just He's the one put his name in.
He's the one that yelled racism at Geordi while he was on the bridge, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was his name actually Lynch?
Yes.
Okay, great. All right.
Yes, I wrote down his entire name.
Leland T.
Because this was
Lynch.
It was such a fucking event for me. I was just like, he really did that. He really was just like, oh, he's not like Lieutenant Lynch here, or which would have been also appropriate,
or just Chief Engineer Lynch. Like, I mean, yeah. Maybe that would provide two. Well, they didn't have sound clips back then, so never mind.
Yeah, but it was just a weird. It was a little thing. I noticed it and I was like, this is weird. So, why did you do this?
So popular recurring character, Engineer Lynch, racist Engineer Lynch. Is really trying to get the salt lamp back into the warp core so the Enterprise can travel at warp.
I'll do it by hand.
I like that so much.
I'll do it by hand.
We're gonna do the dilithium by hand. Okay, so you see, this is a hunk. It's called Himalayan salt, right? And if you just put this on this little light, on this little bitty light, it's going to warp space and time so that we can travel faster than light. Which, the science there is about as representative as the negative ion salt lamp. So I mean,
you mean it's fair. Flawless? Yeah, you're right.
Oh yeah, it's perfectly legitimate and well studied. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh my god, there's no life on this planet, but for some reason we can't like beam them up. What's going on? And remember the last time that there was definitely no life on a planet? That went really swimmingly. So of course, because there's no life on the planet, they go down and they're not expecting any life on the planet because that's never happened before. That's absolutely never happened before. Picard tells Riker to assemble a raid team, and like the sword of Damocles, Riker shouts, "Data, Yar, you're with me!" Like, her fate has been sealed. They go down and they attempt to watch to the shuttle, but there's a mysterious, terrible screen effect that's just like a black shadow. Is this a computer generated image? Is that what we're seeing here?
I wanted to say this then, but I'll say it now. Anybody ever watch Ghost Rider as a kid, like on PBS? Just me? All right. Well, if there's if there's anybody else out there that has, and the bubblegum monster episode, same effects, literally same effects as like that they had in that. It's quite awful.
If you can find a picture of this. Then I would appreciate it, because maybe it's literally the same effect. Maybe they reuse a lot of effects here.
I love. So then we're introduced to the incel blob, which
Yes.
Oh my god! Right.
So I just wrote down oil, and I was really wondering like what this made of. I've looked up on IMDb trivia here. So it is a pool of Metamucil and printer ink, which
Beautiful.
which just sounds really miserable.
just sounds like it sounds like something that just gives everyone cancer, because it's like inhaling toner is not good. You know, like, so just
Gotta love Armis. Everyone's favorite character in the Star Trek universe.
I forgot
Armis.
he had a name. I completely forgot he had a name.
Wait, who?
Armis. That is the name of the goo.
Oh, I thought it was like just like something like Ideas Marketplace 69-420 or some shit like that.
No, for sure.
Yeah, it's really weird. Like I don't remember the guy having a name, and in fact his name was like so unusual to me that like even though they said it like 5 times throughout the episode, because I don't believe they ever actually gender this alien monster.
They don't.
Which I was very impressed with, even though I definitely I am worse off than these sexist racist writers, because I was gendering Armis as with he him while I was writing my notes, because it was more convenient for me, and I'm like, wow. He's got fucking.
He's. No.
It's doing it.
No. Fuck that. No, fuck that. No. That's gamer distillate. Okay, that is
gamer distillate. Yeah. No, you're right.
It's all the
what
pool
happens,
of sweat.
That's what happens when you when it's just like fucking G. It's just a puddle of G fuel and used tissues, just left out in the sun. That's what that is.
Yeah, this same
and
creation...
with torn pages of Ayn Rand sprinkled in.
Oh my god! You want to know something really fun?
Yeah,
you want to know something really fun?
Always.
So I told my friend Armis that we did this episode, and they chose the name Armis after the monster in this episode.
No!
So
you have an actual friend named Armis? That's great.
I have an actual friend named Armis.
Oh my god!
So.
Did you then say, but why?
I mean, great. Armis has some fucking great lines. We will get to those. But yes.
Yeah, like, I am Armis. Why are you here? Through the gloop.
Armis shows up, and I wish he's got a lot of stellar lines. I wish I could have written them all down. I mean, I could have, but I didn't. So
did I hear you laughing? I heard a he. God, I'm a bitch.
Well, because what's funny? later in the episode, he does actually get misgendered when I think Picard calls Armis an it, and then Armis is clearly bothered by this. Like, it? Am I not alive? So
it's they. Come on.
Yeah. Come on. They them, please. Same here, Armis. Like, let's show some respect, for fuck's sake.
Show some fucking respect.
Show some fucking respect
to this
chat.
evil gloop.
Yeah, with no redeeming qualities, who must be destroyed.
I love it because very much like a distillate of evil, like not like in text too. The lore of Armis here, I think, is actually very fascinating, and I wish the episode wasn't so consumed with having the worst eulogy in the entire world for Tasha Yar, because I would have loved to hear Armis just monologue about how fucking evil he is more, because I was sick. Wow,
that was like some
laughing again.
That was like some grave mind shit. That was fucking hilarious. I love it.
Yeah. I love that Armis is just like in text says like, yeah, I was left behind by my people, because guess what? Armis wasn't left behind by the people. Armis was like shed by those people.
Yeah.
Like Armis was the evil that they wanted to clean from themselves, and so they left it on an abandoned planet. Like,
So, wait, no. You're
yes,
telling
that's
me
in the text.
Yeah.
you're telling me that this is just like the Rick and Morty episode where like they go and they get like all the evils purged of them. So
I
yeah,
don't
so
watch,
like
I don't watch gamer shows.
I have unfortunately watched Rick and Morty, and yes, they were definitely. I think they were definitely inspired by this. You know?
That makes sense.
I mean, it's kind of a more general concept, but like
I'm just saying it plays more into like why Armis is so fucking insufferable. Because yeah, Armis would like materialize in front of you and be like, you just don't understand Rick and Morty the same way that I do.
Oh yeah, I know, right?
They should have beamed Arvis down some DVDs. They could check it out. And at this point on, and maybe I'll go back and do it even if you hear like a bleep, it's not because I swore, it's because I misgendered Armis, and I apologize for this.
And you kept doing it.
And I kept doing it to then a slick, oily, humanoid-ish form rises from the goop, and then they start hanging out. They're chit-chatting. Riker's like, "We need to go get our buds." And the oil's like, "Why?" And Riker, instead of saying like, "Oh, because they're important to us," or "Oh, they're our friends," he just tries to explain like the importance of life, and to which we get a great line where Armis goes, "An interesting notion which I do not share," and Tasha immediately goes out like a fucking chump. She interrupts the scary alien, which just said did not give a single fuck about life, and it's like, enough, we're gonna go get our special guys. And the alien's like, I warned you. And Tasha's like, haha, what are you gonna do, kill me?
What are you gonna get my clothes dirty? And then Tasha just gets like mind zapped and like flies away.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, Armis has powers. Oh no.
Well, they already knew Armis had powers. Let's be clear. It's like I real chump move, Tasha, like being just like ignoring the scary alien which did not register as a life form in any way. Data's like, no cellular structure, no neural activity, no tissues, no organs, no nothing. This is just like a being, and Tasha's like, you warned me. What are you gonna do? Kill me with your telepathic powers? And she explodes into viscera.
And also her like brain melts. It's like fucked up.
Yeah. It's great.
Once again, like this is like another prime example where like Data is like the most advanced thing like within the Star Trek crew, and nobody fucking believes him. Like they keep asking him the same questions again and again.
That's true. Yeah.
And it's like the most matter of fact like being you have on your ship, who like if anyone is gonna not bullshit you, it's fucking Data, right? Data's the one you go to where you're just like, hey, does this fucking tunic make my hips look too big? And then Data's like, but your hips have always been big. And it's like, you know, like that's the type of realness that you get out of Data. And there's another episode where they like question him again and again, like 3 times in a row. It's
that's true. Especially Picard. Picard's pretty bad at it later, but that's also you know when they do their like bullying PSA like towards the end, which we will certainly get to. But yeah, Tasha, rest in peace, goes out like a fucking chump. What are you gonna do? Kill me? Is immediately killed. Then there's an extended scene where Tasha's like definitely dead, but Crusher is just like watching her die, like she's just looking at her like tricorder, just like getting off, like watching the life like drain out of her brain, and it's like,
oh my god,
yeah. And they're like, what? Wait, shouldn't we take her to sickbay? And Crusher waits for the last little bit of life to drain from her. It's like, okay, now we can take her back.
She's dead.
And so they could have beamed her up they could have beamed all of them up this whole time, but they should have done the moment she gets zapped by the spooky alien. But no, they just sit there and then watch, and then we get into the medical drama stuff. Tasha has some shit on her face, which I don't know if it's either blood or the alien goop. I really can't tell. It doesn't look like
it's like a birthmark.
Yeah,
It looks
yeah.
like it looks like she got like looks like she got mushroom stamped by the fucking Nickelodeon logo.
Jesus. True though.
Absolutely. Like it doesn't look like she's actually injured. So God knows what it is. They pull some shit that's where it's like the doctor goes like, oh, full power to the defibrillator. The assistant's like, full power? Are you sure? The doctor goes, yes, damn it. But then it's never clear why the nurse thinks it's a bad idea. And is the fact that it didn't work proof that it was a bad idea? Did Tasha die from medical malpractice? That's the question I'm asking.
Well, I'm pretty sure that her brain activity just like fizzled the fuck out, and they basically were just like, yeah, her synapses just aren't doing anything anymore. She just is done.
Then why was the nurse afraid of being like full power to the dendritic stimulator?
I don't know, because they were just a little baby.
Well, yeah,
just a stupid. But
I'm saying that if the person's dead, there's not a lot you can do wrong. It's like, oh no, what if we make them more dead? Like, no, do the.
So remember in the 90s when there was like ER and like shows like that.
Yeah.
And this happened all the time.
Oh
in
yeah.
In those shows where they'd have somebody die, right? And they'd be like, just we gotta keep trying, and then somebody just has to put their hand on their shoulder and be like, no, they're dead, Jim.
Yeah.
She's dead, Jim.
Breathe, damn it, breathe! I'm not gonna let you die. And everyone's like, no, it's over. Which like, okay, when it happens. When it happens, sometimes it makes less sense. It's like the nurse thinks it's like a bad idea. Like was the nurse right? Was it a bad idea? Is that why Tasha couldn't come back because Crusher fucked up?
I think what it is is that
usually it's like an emotional thing, but this is like a technical thing.
No, I think
most
what
of the time
happened
it works too, which then also casts aspersions on the person who is doubting them. It's like, well, it worked, so what the fuck is your problem? If this was up to you, you would have let them die. You're not.
You clearly have not watched as much ER as I have, and that's okay.
I've seen this in many medical dramas. Okay.
In my opinion, I think what happened was that the nurse was trying to recognize Tasha's DNR. And Crusher was just like, no, fuck that. Save friend life, and
that's true. I mean, that is why like she recorded like that hologram towards the end is like, well, if I die and I'm not to be resuscitated under any circumstances, then yeah, okay, that makes sense. Or maybe the nurse was also in the martial arts competition, and we don't know, but I'm gonna say that's probably it. The nurse intentionally sabotaged the medical treatment in order to try to get Tasha killed. But luckily,
that makes sense. That's a good fan theory right there.
Luckily, she died anyway, so we're fine. So back on the Enterprise, or more specifically back in like the ready room or meeting room, whatever the fuck it is, they're having a flame war regarding if I don't know what they're really arguing about. Like it just kind of cuts and everyone's talking over and over again. I hear someone say like oh, she didn't have her phaser up. It's like, are they debating whether she had it coming or not? Like, is that?
Yeah, no, that is exactly what. It's one of those things, when somebody dies,
she had it coming.
When somebody dies in media, there's always somebody to be like, let's discuss like what happened here. And a lot of times it's just really it's just weird. It's weird.
It was all the senior staff. It was all her friends. Like some of them were being like, so for this argument to happen, some of them clearly would have just must have said like, oh, this alien's fucking evil. And then so it was like, wait, maybe the alien felt legitimately threatened by Tasha's actions. Like there's no other way that this conversation could have happened besides
their prime director,
one of her dear friends being like,
they're
definitely playing
Prime Directive.
You just got fucking owned.
Shit.
You just.
I got fucking owned by my own tongue.
We will continue on from here, knowing that Brian has been thoroughly owned. Worf gets promoted to security officer and then immediately totally bitches out like oh, they're gonna do another away team, and Worf's like I probably shouldn't go down there this time.
My friend just died. I don't feel like I should go.
I think he's my friend, I'm dealing with a lot of stuff right now. I've got a lot of like stuff to work through. This woman that I slapped on the ass not an hour ago is dead, and I've just got to process this. So I've got to stay here and be completely out of risk, unlike the rest of you. And clearly it's supposed to be like, oh yeah, Worf is now being like a professional, where we would expect him to like want to go do violence, where he wants to go do.
Well,
I can't make that joke that I was about to.
No, if it is one of those things though where it's like, hey, it's Worf, and Worf knows that like he isn't going to be in full control of himself because his friend just died, and therefore choosing not to go and put himself into a situation where he could end up getting into a fight with a slime that will just kill him too.
Yeah, true. I think it was clearly showing that like, oh yeah, okay, now Worf has to step up and be like professional, and it's like, but I don't know, it didn't make a whole lot of sense. It doesn't matter too much though. They're trying to set up Worf as like, oh, now you're the chief of security, and it's like, wait, didn't Worf have like a different job? Was there not like was he really like the second in line to just immediately be made chief of security like on the spot?
It's not really made clear. It was never made clear. It was just like he's just on the bridge crew, and it's like, okay. They never really talk about what his job was. Just that wasn't
he an ensign at one point? Wasn't he an ensign early in the show? Like him and Geordi are both ensigns.
I don't remember.
Yeah, who? I mean, he's got a red shirt, so he can't be in the same department. But.
Yeah.
Whatever. Troy reads the alien's posture and determines that the Armis, the oil monster, is lonely and was abandoned, which is why he was surprised when they came back. But like, I mean, it wasn't the same situation. Whatever. Bad writing. The camera zooms in on. They want to bring Geordi down. Picard's like, Geordi, come look at this alien with your special eyes and see if you get any hints. And the camera's really zooming in on Geordi as he's like bending over. He's looking real close at the alien goop. He's really trying to figure this stuff out. Like the camera's like 30 feet away, and it's just like zoomed in all the way on him. So we just have like this like barely in focus Geordi on this like ancient lens. So as we discussed before, they misgendered the alien. They call it an it, and the alien's clearly bothered by it, so he makes Geordi So Armis makes Geordi lose his eyes and then have to like look around on the floor pathetically. But like he's not really doing like a thorough sweep of the ground. He's kind of just like looking like in the area directly beneath him. It's like, shouldn't you want to sweep your arms out in that situation? You want to try to like cover like a wide area if you really can't see without this.
It was very Velma. It was very Velma, the kind of like I lost my glasses, like looking in one specific spot.
It's just kneading the ground just directly below you. It's like, my glasses. I can't see anything without my glasses.
And it's like, this is a 3D show, not a 2D show. So you would have expected that they wouldn't have done that, but artistic choices, I guess.
Yeah. So the Data tries to hand him back, and then Armis has apparently also the power of teleportation. It's like, wow, you really didn't know anything about this alien before you tried to go fuck with him, Tasha. Like, come on. It's like, you know what? I am now in the camp. I agree with whoever said it, probably Worf. Tasha had it coming. Absolutely.
Oh my God.
she absolutely had it coming. Like, she was even warned. She was warned by Armis.
Wait. Hold on. Worf expected her to be incapacitated in some way in the martial arts tournament. So he put in for like a new, like he filled out a new like transfer form job application because he wanted Tasha Yar's job, right? And that's how he got into it. Because they were like, oh, well, we already have his application form here. How convenient, you know?
Oh, so was Worf trying to get Tasha killed? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
killed or hurt or something. Yeah, wow. Definitely.
There's more. There's like Data's trying to give Geordi back the visor. Armus teleports it around. It's very funny, and then here we get our first thing. It's like, okay, if you just don't engage with the alien, then he can't bother you. Yeah,
because he's a fucking internet troll. He's literally an internet troll.
Yeah. I mean, that whole scene was definitely there just to be like, Armus is very cruel, and that's the whole thing. And they do it in the most cartoonish way possible, and it is a very weird choice for sure.
Yeah, Armus is definitely desperate. Like, Armus is so desperate. Armus is constantly being like, oh my god, it would be so cool. It would be so cool if everyone would just like constant. it would be so. I'm sorry. It would be doing reverse psychology. It would be so cruel if everyone would just like, oh, aren't you gonna try to just uselessly like try to pick up the visor to give it back to Geordi again? But it's not like I'm gonna like constantly keep teleporting it over and over again. It's really desperate. Armus is really it has the kind of bullying skill of like a 3-year-old. I'm just here thinking that like Armus, if you really want to like torture and make these people suffer, it seems like you have like universal control over the space around you. I feel like you could do some really fucked up shit, and you're not doing any of it. And honestly, I'm somewhat disappointed, but whatever. Picard, so Riker gets Vord. He gets covered in what we discovered was Metamucil and printer's ink, and it's a very like viscous substance. Yeah. Like you could clearly see this is like an actual dangerous like substance. Apparently during the break, like LeVar Burton went up and was like, Frakes, I would have never done that. And so that's why Riker has that's why what the fuck is his real name? What's Riker's real name again? Do you know?
Jonathan Frakes.
Jonathan Frakes. That's why Jonathan Frakes has several exotic forms of skin cancer, because he was completely covered head to toe with Metamucil and printer's ink. But this was clearly the writer's very like poorly disguised fetish as this big strong man just gets covered in this thick viscous liquid. And Picard,
it's kind of hot.
Yeah, Picard hears about this and is like, what? Riker got Vord? I have to get down there immediately. But the anti-bullying PSA proceeds as they teach the audience that the best way to handle a sadistic alien demon is by not giving the alien demon what they want. But it's pretty easy, because the alien is clearly trying to make them beg and never follows through on any of the threats. Like, Armus, you should be killing people. You should be like ripping their limbs apart. You're the personification of evil. Act like it. Come on, stop. You're pathetic.
I wrote the petulant torture slime child, which I feel like really was, I think, a pretty good description of what Armus was like in the show.
Armus is clearly just all talk.
Is what?
Clearly just all talk. Armus then takes over Data. Like the Armus can move. Also has telekinesis. So you could take all the shit like that they're holding, just like rip it out and then make it float and like spin around and throw it back at them. You do whatever they want. You know, it's Armus. They can do anything they want. They're an evil. They're the skin of evil. So Armus is controlling Data like haha. What if I made Data shoot you, or what if I made Data shoot himself? And Data's like, this oil has no redeeming qualities and should be destroyed. Which, like, I mean, under the circumstances, even under these circumstances, it feels a little mean. It feels a little mean for Data to be like, this alien creature has no redeeming qualifications and must be destroyed.
I wrote the line down. You are capable of great sadism. You should be destroyed. It's like, whoa.
Doesn't Armus also like prompt that? It's like, it's curious. You're typical of great sadism, and Armus is like, fuck you, bitch.
Armus responds to that. I don't know if it's immediately after. My notes are not that complete, but with something akin to calling themselves a skin of evil left here by Titans.
Oh yeah, that comes later. So yeah,
that's later.
Yeah. Armus responds after Data says that Armus should be destroyed. Armus responds like a moral judgment from a fucking robot, or something like that. The oil, you know, Armus spits out a guy covered in oil. I guess it's Jonathan Frakes. I thought it was the other guy at first, but no, it's Jonathan Frakes. And Frakes is like, oh god, it was hell. It was pure hell. God, someone get me away from this fucking planet. And it really looks like Riker. Jonathan Frakes specifically was completely unable to breathe, because like all of the ways the air could actually get to his face was just completely blocked off by Metamucil and printer's ink, and Crusher or maybe it was Geordi like literally goes and like wipes off his face so that he can breathe. I mean also, you know, me myself, I would not have done that either. But go Jonathan Frakes. What a fucking champ, risking literally life and limb for Star Trek: The Next Generation.
A real actor.
So Picard's tired of this shit. He challenges the alien to a 1v1 debate, and so the alien Armus wants to leave the planet, and Picard's like, okay, I can take you wherever you want to go, but I need to see my people. And so Armus teleports Picard into the shuttle. Picard completely ignores the black guy that's passed out on the console and goes right for Troy. Troy has to remind Picard that like the guy exists, and then Picard's like, oh, and then Picard's like feigns like some kind of concern, like, oh, he's alive. Okay, cool. Picard tells Troy their plan. I don't know why the alien's not just listening, but the alien's completely blindsided by their plan, which is basically just distract the alien so that everyone can beam out with absolutely no consequences. Great plan. So Picard pulls up a chair and is like, let's rap about this, bud. And here's the line. So they're talking about like what Armus actually is. Picard's like, you're evil? You're not evil. And Armus is like, I am a skin of evil, left here by a race of Titans who believed if they rid themselves of me, they would free the bonds of destructiveness. Which, like, great fucking line. I love that. But unfortunately, Picard's lines are basically just like, nuh-uh, we're never going to take you. You're going to be alone forever. And the alien is so mad that everyone can just beam up, and then Armus is just screaming in pitch shifted agony. We see from really high back in orbit after everyone's safe, you know, except Tasha, who's fucking dead. A huge explosion. Like, we're really far away when we see the explosion. The explosion was fucking gigantic, and so they blew up the shuttlecraft so that there'd be no possibility that Armus could like use it to get out of there. And it's like, wait, did that? Okay, I'm assuming that didn't just kill Armus, because Armus is like some kind of like immortal, but also like that was like every nuke on Earth going off at the same time in the same place. It's like,
yeah, they bombarded the fuck out of that
we are not certain that Armis is still alive, but Armis is still alive. It doesn't matter because the next time we see Armis is in lower decks, so Armis isn't like canon after this. Like it's just no concern whatsoever. They leave up a buoy, you know, like they should have done for the ship in the bottle. But Armis, this personification of evil, Armis gets a buoy, the warning ships not to come close. But the ship that Picard loves, the ship that Picard was interested in,
that artifact that from 1,000 years ago.
This thing that I was fucking creaming my pants over, fucking blow it up. This personification of evil left behind by a race of titans. Throw a buoy. Maybe this deserves some closer study, but be careful. And then we get the extremely. It lasts for like 10 minutes. It's awful. Extremely cheesy, shitty memorial scene featuring a transparent Tasha hologram. It was like, if you're seeing this, I probably died, and I died quickly, which like would have been super funny if Armis had actually like brutally tortured her, like Armis said they wanted to do. But it's like, if you're seeing this, I definitely died, and I definitely died really fast and totally painlessly. And like, imagine hearing that after like, I don't know, like Tasha's like ripped limb from limb and like dissolved like over time. It's like that would have been kind of awkward, right, if that happened?
Yeah, luckily that was not the case. Thank goodness.
Thank goodness. Then so like there's not a lot to say. She talks about the
Are you sure? Are you sure there's not a lot to say? I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
She talks to the bridge crew. She talks about how much she likes them all. She likes Troy's gender. She also likes Worf's gender. You know, this would have been a very interesting character to explore. But Denise Crosby's agents were like, "You need to get the fuck out of this place. It is a disaster. You're having to sneak onto the Cheers set to steal food, or else otherwise everyone would starve. Get out of there." Yeah. And you know, looking back on it, people were like, she had bad agents. It's like, no, she actually had really good agents. That
would have been good to run from that. I 100% support that.
A million and one that TNG went on to survive and then eventually over time become popular. It's remarkable that they didn't lose more people. Like they lost Crusher, but that was just like a season thing, and also you know, sexism. The fact they didn't lose like Patrick Stewart after like Patrick Stewart had all this like experience in like the Royal Shakespeare Company and all this other shit. It's like man, what, like people are like, oh, she went on to go have like a kind of like moderately successful but mostly like failed like career as a movie star, but she was in a lot of good stuff, honestly. Like this was not a bad call. This was a good call from Tasha, from Denise Crosby and her agents. But
without hindsight, this is like the call. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so she likes Troy's gender. She likes Worf's gender. She says some weird shit to Geordi. The whole thing is weird because she's clearly like not friends with any of these people besides Worf. But of course, she has something to say for all of them. The only people that attended her funeral. She says Picard is the closest thing she could imagine to a father, which is like, I mean,
Daddy.
Very funny considering that she tries to fuck him like a few episodes ago.
Yeah.
If there's someone who I would want to be, it's you.
All right, I gotta say, the line "Deanna taught me I could be feminine without losing anything" is just such a weird thing, because there's nothing that has happened on the show to suggest that, right? It's like actually what happened?
There was a scene where in the third episode where they're all high on ecstasy and she goes to Troy's like closet, like she raised Troy's closet and is like, "You've got such beautiful clothes. Can I also wear beautiful clothes?"
So is that what that's referencing? Is that all it is?
that's the
That's
only.
awful.
That is absolutely the only. Presumably this is like a script note of like her character that they only backed up with one somewhat humanizing scene of her in the ecstasy episode where she wants to like feel soft clothes and
yeah. Whatever. Okay, so sure, there's that one. Second, Data, you see the world like a child. She says to the android that she fucked.
The android that she actually fucked. She actually fucked him, and she's like, "You're basically a kid."
Like that's a wild thing to say, isn't it?
When did she record this? Maybe she recorded this like the first day she got onto the Enterprise. She didn't really even know any of these people.
Before she knows, because she references, if she's referencing that same day about Troy, because that was the same episode.
Clearly,
that was the same episode, Eric.
That
was the same episode, Eric.
It's not that she's referencing specifically that moment, but clearly, like they're implying that she had all of these deep and personal connections with all of these people, except all these people, the only people that bothered to show up to her funeral. We just didn't see it. We just didn't see any of it. We saw like one or two things. We just didn't see it.
You're just living cope right now. You're just living fucking cope right now.
No, I'm not. No,
yeah,
no.
100%.
I'm not saying
100%.
it's. No, I'm not saying it's good. I'm saying that they fucked up. It's like, oh, this is what the writers are. The writers are implying a level of intimacy that was never shown. They're just telling us that like, oh, these people, they were all really good friends when they're not. When there was like two friendly, like one or two friendly encounters between Tasha and all the rest of these people. The only people that the only person that we actually see her like be close to is Worf, like in this episode. Like,
yeah, true.
There's like some individual like scenes with Troy, like this Troy talking about like, you know, how much Troy knows that she wants to fuck the president of the black people aliens.
Oh yeah, that's right. There's that.
There's a few scenes, but ultimately this is a very inappropriate memorial scene featuring a character talking about how much she loves and cares about all of these other characters that she had like barely any scenes with. But I think she one of the closing lines, which is very funny because she calls Picard a father figure. And of course, you know, she tries to fuck him. She's like, "Oh, if you weren't my captain." That was in the first Q episode, not the first Q. That was in the second Q episode. And she goes, "If there's someone in this world who I would want to be, it's you, Picard." It's like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, she really did not have any other friends on the entire ship besides like these people. And also no like tell my sister I miss her or anything. It's like
nothing like that. Yeah.
Like, oh, Wesley, I wish I got to see you grow up so I could fuck you. It's really, she really has really did to say about all of the main cast, including Wesley.
They really did her so dirty in that show.
Incredible.
They really did. They were just like, she wants to fuck everyone.
She was horny. She was the first sex positive character before they made Riker the sex positive character. But the scene, the touching memorial ends. Data and Picard talk about Tasha in front of the world's worst green screen, where there's just like footage of like very quickly moving clouds where the lighting doesn't match at all, because clearly they're inside while like they're supposed to be showing outside as whatever. And they're talking about like, oh, Data's like, I don't feel sad. I'm a fucking robot, but I miss her, and did I miss the point? And it's like, Picard's like, oh no, you got the point. And then the episode closes out. It's like, oh wow, how touching! What a touching scene. Tasha goes out like a fucking chump, and then 6 people that she doesn't know show up to her funeral.
Data says something to the effect of, so funerals are for the living, they're not for the dead? And Picard says, yep. And that's it. That's how it ends.
Episode close. Now, Now I am apparently just I've been in a good mood recently because I've watching a lot of these episodes and I'm just thinking, God, that was way better than I remember. And I was watching this one and I was even thinking, God, this is way better than I remember, because I'm looking a lot more on the positive side of things. It's like Armus is so cool. Armus is such a cool alien. Like Armus is a cool alien with a cool backstory, and I love it. And it's all these implications, like, oh, this race of Titans. Like he says that it's like I'm picturing like the fucking like the Titan pantheon from like World of Warcraft, and Armus is like Sargeras. And that's nerd shit. Please ignore me.
Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about. But good for you. I'm happy for you.
But some cool shit here. Some really cool implications here. But of course, you know, anything interesting, especially at this point in Star Trek, is just at service to some pretty weak shit. And of course, this episode was in service to was just there so that Tasha had a way to die, like a fucking like an absolute chump. Any closing thoughts? What did y'all think about this one? The classic Tasha dies episode.
Yeah, cool alien. That's the big thing here. They did a cool thing with the alien. You know, I love the when there's like a force that's just like indomitable. You cannot do anything about it. Mm-hmm. And then they find some way, but it's always something that's like, we can't use force. That doesn't actually work here. I find that compelling, and yeah, you know, it was maybe a little more novel at the time too.
I mean, did they ever even contemplate using force? It feels like they just kind of wrote that off as a possibility. I feel like they would have used force, like if they wouldn't have also like if they didn't have anything to risk at the time. Like they did try to phaser the fucking thing. It just didn't work.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. That's it. Like the thing pulled down a shuttle from orbit. Mm-hmm. They knew it could like really fuck them up. They knew a lot of shit. When they shot the phaser and it didn't work, you know, they knew that was a thing. You know, that like every time they had enough knowledge to know that like, yeah, using force isn't going to work, and so they just kind of operated under that.
True. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah, no, I see what you mean. It's interesting. Zots, what about you? Zots, this is. I know that we kind of at some point let slip that Denise Crosby was going to die. So I'm sorry if I took that away. If we took that surprise away. But what did you think of Tasha Dies, which is the name of this episode?
I think I just think it's funny that like, with the perspective that we have now, that it's very fitting that Gene Roddenberry had like a feminist icon. It is Tasha Yar be killed by an internet troll, by somebody who would like literally go to like random Twitch chats. Like if Tasha Yar was like a streamer, like he would definitely just like be the one to pop in there and just say some shit like, "Oh, another titty streamer. You only get clicked because you're a woman." Like type shit, or just dip in, type Trump 2020, and then just like leave right away. Like,
I got a dark joke. Oh no!
Give me your dark joke.
It's the Armus is just a Amaranth's husband. Terrible.
Whoa.
Don't worry.
Better get that shit out now. This episode goes out tomorrow.
Oh my god.
Don't worry, that'll get cut. Wink.
Specify parameters.
Roddenberry was adamant that Starfleet not seem too military. Mayer wanted them to lean towards the naval theme, and had battled with Gene on Wrath of Khan. But at the time they made Undiscovered Country, Mayer said that he was free of that restraint and added the military edge. God damn it! So the reason that the fucking Federation is like the fucking like British exploratory navy is because Roddenberry died. That sucks. You know, Gene Roddenberry, he had his benefits as a writer. He at least was a person with a vision of some sort.
Sure.
I don't know.
Same with whatever the douchebag that made the West Wing, whatever that dude's name is.
Aaron Sorkin.
Yeah.
No,
Same with Aaron.
Aaron Sorkin's vision is like what if I was president, but I was also Bill Clinton. That's Aaron Sorkin's vision. That's like Gene Roddenberry's vision is like I mean he's like, oh, okay, so in the future all of our social problems are solved, everything's cool now, and also in the next generation we're gonna make damn sure that Starfleet is not the military. And as we know, going forward, more so in Voyager than anything else, but also Deep Space Nine is rather guilty of this, is that like Starfleet is also like the military. Starfleet is the United States military. Starfleet is the United States Navy. And it's fucked up. That implication is not like properly explored, and the people on the ship, especially like in Voyager, are just kind of like operators at that point. Voyager's the operator show, and
it is. Yeah.
And apparently Meyer, which one's Meyer? Stephen Meyer, I think is the name that sounds familiar. So Meyer was like, let's make it more like the Navy, and Gene Roddenberry's like, no, let's make it not. We can't have him be like the Navy. Oh, I'm fucking dead. And then there's like, yeah, now we can do whatever the fuck we want. We can make Starfleet as military as we like, and they just gotta deal with it.
So Deep Space Nine, right? The whole thing is that a war was just ending, the war with the Cardassians, right?
What? Oh,
yeah.
War with the Dominion, yeah.
No.
Wait. I didn't hear what you said. What'd you say?
No, so Starfleet has like a border conflict with the Cardassian Empire, right?
Yeah. There was a war, like a full-on war.
Yeah. A war, yeah. And that's how like the whole thing. And so through that, like, Starfleet got militarized a bit, but also Starfleet kind of keeps itself as far away from doing the military stuff as it possibly can during the Deep Space Nine, up until it has to remilitarize because of the Dominion stuff.
No.
So it's like,
yes. Okay.
100%.
Well, okay, yeah, but this is perfectly
like, I'm with you on Voyager, okay? I'm with you on Voyager for sure.
You are perfectly legitimately trying to provide a in-universe explanation for what we're seeing on screen, which is the increased militarization of Starfleet. But this, of course, these are things that writers did. You know, these are choices that they make. They didn't need to do anything, and we don't need to try to like think up in universe things in order to apologize for the franchise. No, they're the victim of shitty writers. Fuck them. They wanted to make Starfleet a military. Well, fuck you. Starfleet isn't a military. Once I am showrunner, I'll make it fucking clear to everyone exactly.
And, you know, we have a problem here of that. Because this is like a utopian, like, demilitarized country, right? That is what the Federation is supposed to be, right? Is this like this socialist fucking utopia where there's no need for war anymore, right? But then they
where
meet
there's no
outside.
Scarcity, there's no poverty. There's nothing.
Yeah. Of course, everybody knows that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, that doesn't.
What the fuck does socialism mean? But anyways.
Well, you see, it depends on who you ask, right? Like.
Oh my god! I'm gonna fucking. Never mind. I'm never talking to you about anything ever again.
What it means is that Starfleet has one strong member of the Vanguard Party that makes all of the decisions throughout the Federation. That is in charge and makes sure that the Federation and Starfleet pursues the quality of socialism with human characteristics and spreads them far and wide for never mind. But sorry, go on.
Well, no, I'm totally derailed now.
Okay.
Let's see. No, fucking what is it? The whole thing was that this demilitarized force. The question was that I think they were really coming up against, not with Voyager, but with Deep Space Nine, is like, well, what do you do with that in the face of a fascism, which is what Cardassia is? Well, Cardassia is fascist. They're the Nazis.
Let's be clear. The Federation loves hanging out with Nazis, hanging out with fascists. Their best friends are the Klingons. They want to be best friends with the Cardassians, even though, especially the Cardassians are like constantly like murdering people, constantly trying to provoke wars and like slaughtering like families and stuff. And the Federation's like, we have a treaty, okay? We can't do anything about it because we have a treaty. The Cardassians are implementing genocide on this ancient like spiritual people. Well, it's in their own borders. Nothing we can do about it. We can go through the proper channels and try to end the genocide of the Bajorans and the raping of their planet. As said very directly many times. And it's like, oh no, don't worry, just fucking forget about it. But Starfleet is not a military organization. Starfleet is just can be a military if they need it. If there's a war,
exactly.
Starfleet handles it. But there's a difference between like Starfleet being like a standing army and Starfleet being like capable of utilizing force to protect the Federation, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And that becomes a problem in other series, right? But that's not like Starfleet gets militarized to do certain things, right? But then it can demilitarize afterwards. And I would say that throughout most of the Deep Space Nine, that does happen.
But they don't militarize though. They just die a bunch. Just a bunch of people die. Like they don't change anything like inherently about.
What the fuck are you talking about?
What do you mean? What am I talking about? What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the Cardassian War. Like they go and have a literal war with the Cardassians.
They have
right?
tons of wars. They've had wars all the fucking time. What do you?
I know, but I'm just saying this one specific situation. We were talking about one series.
Why are you saying that it changed because of the Cardassian War? Nothing changed.
No, they were doing like the science thing. They were doing their like we're going. I mean, we're so fucking off course right now.
It's fine. Continue.
Is it?
This
is just a dumbass argument.
It's the transition between the episodes. No, I want to hear what you're saying. What the fuck are you saying?
So in the universal century of Gundam, right? Like there's.
Yeah. What are you saying?
I'm saying that they militarized briefly in some of the series to do certain things, but that it's not like they are like a perpetually military force. Like the question of like how does a socialist society that has like essentially disarmed itself defend itself or even like do things that we would consider good, like liberating the fucking Bajorans. How do they do that? Because there was no answer. There was no answer before that.
Well, there was an answer.
It's like an actual fucking. Shut up. Let me talk.
Sorry, I thought you were dead. I'm sorry.
And so, motherfucker, it's just like they come up with an in-universe idea of how to actually do that, so that they can maintain the integrity of their fucking of their federation. Like defense is important.
But yeah, what are you? So, but here's the problem with that is that that's not the question that they're asking. That's the question that we would ask, like in that situation, because that's interesting. The question they're asking is like, how does the woke military handle this? how do our good boys in blue handle a situation?
Is that really how you read DS9?
No, not DS9 as a whole.
And why do you keep changing? That's what I'm talking about.
But you're talking about like the Cardassian War. The Cardassian War didn't happen in Deep Space Nine.
No, that happened in TNG, but like it happened
way before TNG. But like we're dealing with the aftermath of it even in TNG. Like that's like history.
Yeah, sure. Anyways, that they end up having this like continued like dealing. They have to deal with it. They have to deal with it. It's not like,
what are you saying meaningfully changes about Starfleet like in wartime?
They pile up their ships together and start like going in a war party. It's like it's different. It's not like a huge difference, but it is a difference.
I mean, like, but it's really just that their mission changes. It's not like they're going into war mode. You seem, I feel like you're saying that something meaningfully changes about Starfleet, like when there's a war and when there's not a war. When
not really.
Well,
I'm saying that like
isn't that what you just said?
No.
Okay.
I was trying to say the opposite.
Okay. I'm sorry. I thought you were trying to say the opposite.
Okay, you both love Star Trek. That's why we're here.
But so I think Deep Space Nine, like, yeah, they are trying to answer that. They're like, what if this utopian society? What happens with this utopian society when they have to deal with World War II, basically, when the Nazis invade? And they don't have a great answer for that. It's basically just like, well, shit sucks, and billions of people die, that's about it.
Their answer to it ends up being basically what the fucking USSR thing was just like not engaging until it is necessary, right? With the literal Nazis in the universe, right? It's just
I guess you're right, because it is very.
I know I'm right.
I guess you're extremely right, because like, yeah, the answer is like, just like the USSR, the Federation, they love dealing with the Nazis. They're dealing with the Nazis all over. The Nazis are their best friends.
No,
so you're right. That's accurate, actually, if we think about it.
Not that they love working with the Nazis, because that wasn't the thing. That wasn't the thing, but that it was like their whole thing was that they were going to essentially do a pretty similar project to what happened with pretty much every other power in the region, which is just like kind of appeasement and like working as an actor of I don't know. I don't want to fucking talk about this anymore. This is fucking bullshit. I fucking hate this.
So,
second episode.
In conclusion, and don't worry, we'll cut out all of that, especially the part where I offend the tankies in the audience again. Stalin was disheveled when Hitler betrayed him. That's a historical fact. Anyway, but that's neither here nor there. Federation sucks. It's written by libs. It's the woke military, except for Deep Space Nine, which is the cool one. And Voyager is about like how cool it would be to live under a 24/7 military dictatorship that lasts for your foreseeable life and future.
Voyager's fucked up.
You can opt out of it at any point in time, which will involve you becoming a non-person and or just being lost in an alien world for which you have no connection to whatsoever. You either deal with you either live under this fascism by choice, or you become an inhuman and die. It's like, oh, okay, cool. That well, we'll do a bonus episode about Voyager at some point. I think that'll be fun. Well, there's a lot of one bonus episode I have planned is the one where like the people of color might actually, what if they are actually criminals, you know, and what if they actually deserve to be arrested more?
Voyager.
And then the don't believe women episode, they could just be making it up. They're experiencing false memories. Don't believe women, or else it'll have serious consequences for the men that they accuse. Including their ship blowing up. That would be really messed up, wouldn't it? All right. Well, so episode 2. There's not a lot to talk about. This one's kind of creepy. There are some like the first one. There's some cool science fiction concepts that get totally overshadowed by just a really stupid plot. We open on Picard and some guy fencing in the ship's dedicated fencing stadium. There's some kind of distortion in time. Everything gets repeated for a second, and somehow they were all aware of it. Like they were also like watching like it happened on TV like we were. It's like, but if time actually went back and like restarted, why would you be aware of it? Like if you right here, you're doing something, like you wave your hand and then suddenly then suddenly all of time rewinds and then plays you like waving your hand again, like in the exact same way. Why would you be aware of that? Why would you have been aware of that happening if that's something with time? Like, you are a being who experiences time just like the rest of the universe. Why are you... Whatever. It doesn't matter.
The show assumes that they experience time twice. And so, therefore, of course, if you want to talk about like whether that's what would actually happen in like a time travel situation, like, yeah, okay, sure. But
exactly.
But who fucking cares? This is Star Trek. Well, they just make shit up.
Actually, I already thought about a nerd justification for that. It's that like, oh, they're not just dealing with time fucking up. They're also dealing with an alternate dimension full of alien consciousness. So maybe time is fucking up and they're having an out of body experience. Who knows? Maybe the only way they perceived it is because their minds were also like at the same time touching this fragment of this other dimension. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, there's that one part in it where Data, I mean, this is getting ahead of ourselves, but Data ends up going because he doesn't get disoriented by time distortions because he sees time differently than humans, right? And when he's experiencing that time distortion right next to the source, there are 3 of him next to each other.
Yeah, and they can like talk. They can hang out.
Yeah, and they all can interact with each other.
So like kissing. Yeah, it's fucking great.
They do a little mwah. They're like, we got a situation to deal with, but you know, what if we did a little android self-cest here?
What if we smoochy?
What if we did a little smooch? So the answer is that it's not just time. They're also dealing with alternate dimensions full of eldritch horrors. Excellent.
Yeah.
They get a distress call from some guy, and Picard gets some strong feels of Troy catches on. And it's like, Picard, you need to go to therapy. You absolutely have to go to therapy. And Picard says men would rather go back in time on the holodeck to have a fake conversation with the woman that they ghosted as a teenager than go to therapy. And so he does exactly that. He goes to the holodeck, and which apparently the holodeck has a record of everything that has ever happened on Earth and can recreate every moment in time so accurately that the very specific woman that he ghosted 50 years ago is there waiting for him in the bar that he ghosted her at, or that's just the name of a program. When he like says a date, he's like, give me this cafe in Paris at this time at this date, and here was what the weather was like, and the computer makes it, and then there just so happens to be the woman that he ghosted. She's there. She's right there. So somehow everything that ever happens on Earth is recorded and can be reproduced on the holodeck, or what is more likely, Picard made the program. When he says all those dates, that's just a program that he himself made that includes the teenager he was in love with, so that he could go back and be like, I think she did wait for me. Look at this. She actually did wait for me, and I can go have half of a conversation before getting very embarrassed with myself and then getting mad and leaving the holodeck, leaving the woman object behind. So, and then we move on with all the implications there. We move on very quickly.
Did they use the same actor?
No. She's
okay.
They use like a girl who's like 14 years old, and French. So they use someone that got taken in one of like the you ever seen the movie Taken? She got taken in Taken. And they put her on the Next Generation set. So the time hiccup was not local to the Enterprise, and it sounds like this like super scary shit that is going on. Fucking Picard calls down and is like, this woman's like, oh my god, everyone's dead, please come help us. And Picard's like, this is Captain, this is the captain of the U.S. Enterprise, we've come to help. And it's clear to everyone, like Picard and Geordi like they have a look. It's like, what's going on there. He didn't want to say his name. It's like man, Picard is jealous of the woman that he ghosted 60 years ago, and then they beam them back up. This woman, her husband is convulsing on this table, and then while that's happening, like her husband's having like the most intense seizure that anyone's ever experienced, and she and Picard have like a love connection, like they look at each other kind of like longingly while their husband is just like shaking on a table. Apparently all the other scientists at this place were killed, and the woman went off and married some like brilliant time scientist who has a theory about time and gravity. She describes the man's belief as like time. Okay, if space is an immutable, like we know, we mute space all the time, but time is an immutable as well. And there's also a billion universes out there, and the only thing that holds us to our dimension is the only reason that we're in this dimension and we don't get to experience these countless others, or we don't have any contact with countless others, is the consistency of time, which when violated would open a window to many universes. Picard, Data, and Riker encounter themselves on the holodeck, and they like talk to each other for a second. There's a lot of more implications from there that we're just not going to explore. They beam down, but the shit is so fucked up that they almost send Worf into cybernetic oblivion. But don't worry, they got Worf back. Wouldn't that be funny if Michael Dorn had also quit the show, and the way that he dies is just like he transports and just disappears. Like he's just
oh god,
he's just vaporized. It's like, where'd Worf go? I don't know. I don't have his pattern here. I guess he's dead.
As he's gone.
It happens on the transporter sometimes. Shit happens. But
it's not safe.
It's not safe, folks. The Doctor comes back into consciousness, and he says his mind is partly in another dimension, which like this is some like cool fucking sci-fi like horror stuff, which I love. And Picard's like explain this shit to Data. I have no idea what's going on. Before that happens though, but Picard comes up. He's like, I'm Captain Picard, and the husband's like, she mentioned you. It's like, that was 70 years ago. She's so hung up on Picard that she's still talking about it to her husband, to the point where her husband's like, it's you. She talks to you. She talks about you. She talks about you all the time. Every time we have sex, she's talking about you for the last.
I mean, with an amazing French accent like Picard has. I mean, why
True.
Yes. That's another thing. Also, it's like when they meet up, she's like, I thought I recognized that voice. It's like, that was 90 years ago, and you still recognize his voice? Like
5,000 years ago. How do you remember that voice?
How do you remember Picard's voice that clearly?
He's not 90. They're not. No.
All of the other scientists were killed. Oh wait, no, I read that note already. The doctor comes back into consciousness and it's like, oh yeah, I already read that already. Oh my god, I lost my place in my notes. So yeah, explain this shit to Data. I have no idea what's happening. I
opened a crack in between dimensions.
The doctor is adamant that they shut down the crack. And like I'm betting, it's a monster dimension. There's monsters there. There's a bunch of cool space monsters there, and they have to shut it down because otherwise the space monsters will invade reality. But it's more like time and space is gonna unravel across the galaxy. It's just like, ugh, boring. Yeah. I want the Eldritch horror time dimension that's right at our doorstep. Like, come on, give us some of that. But no, it's just gonna fuck up time. Whatever. The woman comes to meet Picard in his ready room or in the conference room, whatever it is, and she is still not over him. Even her husband is not like over it. And the husband. And he goes down to see the husband, and the husband's like, please, God, please fuck my wife. If I die, you need to fuck my wife. Please take care of her. Take care of her.
Take care of her.
I cannot provide for her sexually. I'm a little time nerd. Please, Picard, you jacked French Chad, fuck my wife. You can do it here if you want. I'm definitely a goner. Picard tells Data to go down alone since he's a machine and it doesn't matter, and so his life doesn't matter. And Data's like, yeah, that's true. I'm a machine and my life doesn't matter. Data has to fight laser turrets for the second time in the series. Maybe last time too. We'll see. So he picks up some antimatter and he has to put the antimatter into the glass prism, into the effects from David Lynch's Dune, and oh my goodness, he goes up to it, but time fractures and suddenly there's 3 Data. And I remember this scene. This is the cool scene. There's 3 Data and they're trying to figure out, like, okay, which one is the real one, or rather which one is the one that's supposed to put the thing in the antimatter in the device when it happens. And they don't waste their time trying to figure it out, including the audience as to why he figured it out. But the middle one's like, this one, it's me. I can do it. It's me. And then they go in and put the thing. There's some kind of explosion, but everything's fine. And the doctor is there to describe the horrors that he saw on the other side. He's like, there's a kind of life there. It's not like us, not like this. And I'm like, that's fucking cool. And the doctor goes like, we must go back there. We must go back there. They're one with us. We have to. I've heard their voices. We have to bring them into reality.
You are head crab zombie.
This is a reference that I just do not understand.
I do.
It's Half-Life.
What Half-Life? You mean like how an atom has a half-life?
Yep, very same.
Shut the fuck up.
Picard invites the doctor's wife to fuck on his holodeck fantasy of her, including the same actor that played her as a teenager is there. It's like, let's have this.
What?
Let's have the rendezvous. Yeah, she's there in the background when they go back to have one last sensual encounter on the holodeck.
Man, having a fucking 4-way with you.
With the younger versions of yourselves.
Yeah, there you go. That's how you do it. That's how you future it up right
Not
there.
Not cool, Zotz. She's 14. But Picard
Wait,
is...
what?
No, she's not. I don't know if you've noticed this, but Eric lies all the time.
she does look the actor that they chose is clearly a teenager.
I don't know. I wasn't looking at her to like judge her age.
Oh my god.
Yeah, creep.
I was distracted. I was distracted by just the best French accent I've ever heard in my life. Like,
oh, mon ami, my boyfriend, he left. He went to go to the military. He's shipping off to a military. So they have their little fantasy. It's creepy. It's weird. It's weird that Picard has that program. It's weird that there's like a teenage version of herself just sitting there in the background. But the episode closes on back on the bridge because like, all right, let's get back to our shore leave. And Riker's like, oh, there's this great club, and Troy's like, yeah, I know the club. And Picard's like, no, I know the club better than all of you. Let's get drinks. You're buying, which like. Okay, we can't interrogate that. We can't interrogate the buying.
Do it.
Can't do that. It's not the place for it. Yeah, but
no, maybe it's a joke.
My knee-jerk reaction was like, with what fucking money?
Yeah,
what is this?
But I think if we are again going to be charitable, that's a joke. That's just a saying, right?
It's a joke about how we don't have money anymore.
Yeah,
maybe that's what it is.
Wait.
Is this
drinks?
Is this some silly fucking like alternate planet that's not within the Federation, so they still have to abide by currency?
I think so. That's one.
Is that what we're gonna do? Is that what we're gonna say?
That is one implication, but I think it's more of a joke of like imagine if we had to like pay for food and water. Like, wouldn't that be fucked up?
Imagine that they wrote a joke into there. This joke, they wrote this as a joke. And then the delivery was just so god awful that they were just that nobody got it was a joke.
I think that's a funny. That's a funny joke.
They should have had Data just be like, "But it's free, Captain," and then
that would have made it a joke. That would have made it actually work.
Well, yeah. Well, clearly. I mean. You know, we're reading into this. Clearly, the what's really happening here is that Star Trek is written by and for hacks and disgusting nerds and
Jesus.
Nothing really to, I don't know, any closing thoughts on the second episode. I like the Eldritch Horrors angle, but there's not a lot
that was
super
cool.
interesting in it.
There was one thing that I think was important that you glossed over here,
yes.
Which is that Beverly Crusher was very upset.
Oh yeah,
about Janice.
I do remember.
Was like,
this, yeah.
Oh yeah. Like, how can I can't compete with his youth, with the love of his youth, and it's like, I'm sure you can. Picard really hates anything younger than he is, so I'm sure you're fine.
That's true. It's true. He hates children.
Crusher's like, he has, like, how can I compete? He has a holodeck version of that. He goes there every single day. He goes and he looks at this hologram that he created of this woman when she was young, and then he just stares at her and he has half a conversation before getting mad and leaving. How am I supposed to compete with that? To which, I mean, you know, Crusher, you can't compete. I'm sorry, you've lost to this creepy man, the creepy man, sex slave on this holodeck. The end. Cool.
Also, there's a point that Picard spikes the camera and smirks, which I thought was funny, and it was when Data was saying that he's disposable. Data's like, you should send me. It's a good idea to send me. I am disposable. And then Picard says, no, Picard says you are, no, you're indisposable. But you are uniquely suited to this mission. And then spikes the camera and smirks like, and it's just like, what's happening? What the fuck is happening?
I'll go back and get a clip from that. It's hilarious.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, well, okay, well, that's Tasha dies, and plus the Eldritch Horrors.
plus a pretty meh episode.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's season 1. Whatever.
It's season 1.
I'm cursed. I'm cursed to live this season for the rest of my life.
Yeah, true.
We only have one more episode. One more episode that we're doing. For that will be entirely season 1. The one that Nicotine is going to be on, unless Nicotine abandons me like everyone else has.
Oh my god,
that'll never happen. That'll never happen. We can trust Nicotine.
Nicotine likes coming on the show, so
we can absolutely trust Nicotine here. Yeah, well, that's Star Trek. That's Left Track folk. Tasha's dead. She's in a torpedo tube. They cremate
tortilla. She's in a tortilla tube.
They wrapped her up in a tortilla and then shot her into space, as is the tradition in the Federation.
Yeah,
you guys
they
saw
cut off that bad bit that was on her cheek, and then they rolled her up in a tortilla.
Y'all saw this is even old now that I bring this up, but the Great British Bake Off thing of where they're doing Mexican food.
I refuse to watch it. I saw the TikToks, and I don't need to watch fucking Brits stumble on how to say pico de gallo or fucking.
Do you remember how he said it? Do you remember how the guy said it?
No, I didn't see it.
Oh
I just said I didn't see it. I told you I
you're
refused.
just guessing. Yeah, he butchers pico de gallo. He says it like I don't even know how he got this, because he says pica de callo. It's like, how did you get that? Where, what? Pica de Cal. They say taco.
Whatever.
Like they're from fucking Minnesota.
Whatever. They call whipped cream squirty cream over there. I can't trust them. Trust those people.
British words for food are just not okay.
I think at the end of the day, everyone has discovered and. I want to say and made peace with, but no, they constantly roast the Europeans for just being hating spice in their food. They hate flavor in their food. If you get like a real authentic, like a truly authentic like German sausage, and you're just like, oh, this thing looks fucking delicious, and it's just meat. It's just meats with no. It's just completely flavorless meat. Like they have no flavor in anything that they do over there. The concept of like even putting a little fucking salt on something is alien to them.
It depends on the sausage. Just saying. It just depends on the sausage.
Yeah.
You have to test a lot of sausage. Sometimes it's not about the sauce. Sometimes it's just about mouthfeel.
That's true.
That's true. Whatever. I'm cutting all this bullshit anyway. That's Left Track, folks. End recording.